30 minutes of television. Trying to get him the ball. Because Ricky complicated things more for the organizer than he does for the opposition.
For the past 10 years, Michael Landsberg has been the host of TSN's Off the Record, the longest-running sports talk show in Canadian television history.
Off the Record is a place that is driven by one thing, and that is passion. The passion comes from the host, first and foremost. The speech that I give the guests in the green room every day says this, and I'm not talking about the upfront interview, I'm talking about the panel discussion. I look at guys in the eyes and say, if you don't feel passionately about the topics, if you don't see this as black and white and right and wrong, then ultimately you're going to be a bad guest, because you got to sell yourself to the guy at home by saying, I care. So OTR is the place where passion comes to live on a daily basis, and if it doesn't, we fail. So, thanks for coming, guys. You got to have fun.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're not willing to have fun,
you
should go home.
I'm ready now.
So I'm gonna hold this up for a second and hope you're still here. So I'm gonna go through the topics.
After 12 years of reading a teleprompter behind a desk, Landsberg enjoys the spontaneous and interactive talk show environment Off the Record provides.
You know, most people don't really know him as a person, but the cool thing about his job is the person you see on TV is actually the person that he is. He's got one of the rare jobs in the business where he's allowed to be himself on air, which is probably what he likes so much about it.
It would be foolish to say that the guy that sits on this set is 100% the same guy. I think what I am is on this set is a magnified version of what I am, where everything is kind of squeezed down and everything is accentuated, right? But the one thing that's very different about me at home or away from this is that I am probably the least confrontational guy you're ever going to meet.
Despite the success of the show, the 2006 Gemini nominee accepts the fact that he can't please everyone.
I look at criticism the same way as I look at a compliment, and that is that it's not relevant what other people think. It's relevant what the viewers think by their numbers, for sure. But if you expect that you will do something and people won't criticize you for it, if you think everyone's going to like you, then first of all, you're an idiot, and second of all, you're probably going to fail. Because the job as a host of a television show, especially a show like this, is to certainly not be liked by everyone, and certainly not avoid criticism. What you want to do is, I believe, you want a quarter of the audience to think, man, I love that guy, and have a quarter of the audience say, I hate that guy, and most of the people in the middle watch the show because of the show.
How often you get an actor, an athlete, a good-looking woman, a politician, all together in the same set? And how often you have a host that grills them with questions?
So you're American. That's right. You've gone through a lot of changes. You have a great package. It's funny that we You guys are great. Thank you.
Even with a decade under his belt on OTR, Landsberg would rather focus on the present as opposed to the past or the future.
I'm not the greatest guy in the world at thinking down the road about what's going to exist. So, A, I never thought about it. I don't live my life that way. B, it's probably not even healthy to think about, well, you know, how long is this thing going to last? I think the answer is you enjoy it every day, and if you stop enjoying it, you give it up. But most of all, you have a responsibility to the viewer at home. Someone asked me that question about hosting a show, and I said the most important thing, I think, is that you have to understand you work for the person at home. The person on the other end of that camera is the person that you broadcast for, and ultimately that's the person you answer to. Now that doesn't mean that you don't have responsibilities that I got a boss, I got lots of bosses, and I obviously have to answer to them. But I'm working for the guy at home, and when you think about that and you try to remain true to that person, then broadcasting is an adventure every day. So I think when you get the blessing of doing a show like this, you don't think, am I going to be around for 10 years? What you think is, I'm going to make every day count.